opening remark from Cory Clark, and then take it away with questions, please.
An opening remark. It's a tough match. It was a good, hard-fought match. Wasn't pretty in my favor, but I got the W, and I'm always just out there to wrestle hard, and when I got out there, I felt real loose, and I felt relaxed, and I felt really good. And when I'm feeling that way, I'm tough to beat. I mean, I may not hit the prettiest shot, or I may not hit the legs and finish, but I'm tough to beat, and I think that showed.
Cory, you've had some really close matches that haven't gone in your favor this year. What's the difference tonight as you go to another close one?
I'm not a big fan of making excuses, but you know, I sat out a good portion of the year, and I'm the type of guy that with competition, I feed off that and I feel progress. You know, you can see when you're out on the mat, your weaknesses show more so than in the practice room, because that's your competitive side wrestling out on the mat. Whereas in the room, you know, it's just kind of like your relaxed side. You're a different person when you're worked up, when the nerves are running through you, and I think getting lost in the question here a little bit, but more or less, I would just say, you know, repetition, getting competition, tough opponents, you know, facing some losses maybe even helped me out. Just little things like that keep me going, and when it comes to the end of the year, you really gotta, those last 2 weeks before the season's over, you really gotta figure out how you're gonna peak, and that's what I did, and I think I may not peak to the Olympic champ that I want to be, but I peaked to the best I can be at this point in my life.
Thank you.
Cory, you got a takedown in kind of a funky position where you were able to get the edge there, and then a few seconds later you're in the same position. Did it surprise you that you were able to get to that again, and that, you know, that ended up deciding the match?
I wind up in that position quite a bit. It's funny you say that, because when I wrestled Michik, it was the same thing. He was in on that leg. I whizzed her down real hard, kind of make him take the backside route. I straighten my leg, and I come to that, you know, that hold that I wound up in. And it was back at the hotel, and I was talking to Gilman, and I told him, I said, isn't that crazy that I keep getting that takedown on guys? Because like, it's kind of a cheap, like almost like a lazy way of getting a takedown, but as it looks, but it takes a lot of hard work and energy. You know, it's not easy to do. But it's kind of cheap how they're in so deep and you wound up scoring on them. You know, you got to think what that does to a guy mentally. But I used to do that to Gilman all the time. So not all the time, but I used to get like good guys in the room like that. Ramos, Gilman, get guys like that with that same move. So I brought it up to Gilman. I'm like, ain't it crazy that I keep hitting that on people? And he kind of like laughed at me because he knew I was pointing at him. But I don't know. It's just a move that I've got to in practice. And you know, you get on a big stage, you're having fun out there, and sometimes things show that you guys may not have ever seen out of me, but my coaches and teammates have seen me hit that stuff thousands of times. So much stuff I hit in the room that haven't even showed out in a match yet.
Cory, as far back as I can remember in your wrestling career, you've been a guy that the second time around against somebody, you've been able to make adjustments. If they've beaten you, it seems like the second go round goes your way a lot better. What is it about getting your hands on somebody once that helps you make those adjustments the second go round?
You know, when you open up a match, a guy grabs you, a guy does a certain thing to you, it alerts you, but that can almost be like harmful in a way, because it's like, then you're kind of like, your mind's wandering on it. Like someone hits a certain shot on you, or like they grab you real hard, you're like, oh, this guy's strong, but then your mind's not on the right thing. Your mind's on, this guy's strong, or this guy, that was a good shot, or whatever, rather than you're scoring. So maybe when someone, you know, you feel something, like the first time I wrestled Tomasello, he was surprisingly strong and he hand fought hard. So, you know, when I came out there and he grabbed, I was prepared, but when I came out there and he grabbed me and he started moving, it kind of shocked me a little bit, like, oh, this is going to be this or this. My mind's kind of, you know, working itself. Whereas today, just before the whistle even blew, I expected that, I knew that. So when that happened, it didn't do nothing in my mind. It was just, I was completely myself, and I think that's a big part of what you're asking.
Cory,